you had a chance to watch The Last Dance?
I have. I watched all 10 episodes because after the episodes went off the air, then at CBS Sports HQ, we went on, Roger Bell, Rip Hamilton, and myself, and talked about it on our CBS Sports digital platform.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so I watched all 10 episodes, and a lot of what was shown in the documentary, I knew about it, and then there were certain things that I wasn't aware of that was pretty interesting.
So what surprised you about the documentary?
Wow, I think the one thing, especially post-documentary now, that really surprised me was, the relationship that Michael had on different levels with his teammates.
Right.
And it just, the relationship he had with Horace Grant was different from the relationship he had with Scottie Pippen.
Right.
The relationship he had with Steve Kerr was different from the relationship he had with Dennis Rodman. So I would say that was pretty interesting, and just all of the security guards, this guy that Michael was having a lot of fun with behind the scenes. That was pretty cool.
It was.
And the dream team, just how good that team was, and really how Isaiah Thomas should have been on that team.
Mm-hmm. So how did you feel? I know you're a tough coach. You're a tough coach. You have a record for being a tough coach, but a great coach. So how did you feel about Michael Jordan's approach to some of his teammates as far as like taking dinner, getting physical with some of them? How did you feel about that? Do you think it was justified, or like how do you feel about that?
Well, all great leaders and have different ways of motivating their teammates.
Right.
And, you got to have different levels of the way you communicate, whether it's your intense voice, your loving voice, your teaching voice, your understanding voice, and your disappointed voice. And I think, the time that he took Horace's, or asked the flight attendant not to feed Horace, I guess he was really disappointed in the way Horace played. But I just think, being a leader on teams that I played for, and even coaching on the collegiate level and also on the NBA level, you just got to have different levels of communication, and you got to know your audience.
Right.
Because certain people can't handle tough love.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's definitely true. So you know what it's like to win a championship. Tell me how it was in 1999 to win the very first championship for the Spurs. How was that?
It was pretty cool because we were always the underdog, because when you're competing with other major markets, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Boston Celtics, you're dealing with teams that just have a long history of winning championships. The Chicago Bulls, the Houston Rockets had won 2 championships. So it's just, a small market team. We were trying to get our foot in the door. And once we had that breakthrough in 1999, it was the first of now 5 championships for the Spurs. And it meant so much to the city of San Antonio and all of those fans that packed the Alamo Dome at that time to support us each and every night.
How was it hitting that shot, the clutch shot in the first? How was it? Like, what was going through your head, and like what was like afterwards and everything like that?
Well, it was fantastic because I had missed that shot a million times. So it was just going to be a matter of whether I was going to have the confidence to take it again. And the play wasn't run for me. I wasn't the best player on the team. The play was called 4 down, and we were running the play for Tim Duncan, and the Knicks got confused with some of their defense. And fortunately, I was open on the left side at about 18 feet, and my teammate Sean Elliott made a great pass, and I made the shot. And that was the shot to seal that game. And it was just something I'll never forget.
That's really dope, and I know it takes a lot of confidence to take a shot like that. So tell me what it was like being the size you were in the league. You had a whole bunch of guys that's like 6'7", 7 feet,
Yeah, yeah.
and you are one of the most confident players that I've seen. So, but you're one of the smallest ones. So, how was it like, just building up your confidence and playing in the league at your size? And how were you able to achieve what you achieved?
Yeah, well, and I came in through the back door. I didn't get drafted in 1988. So I was always a overachiever. Um, my lack of size, I had to make up with high basketball IQ, intensity, being a coach on the floor, great leadership ability. So I was always trying to be a role model for kids and people that maybe, were the type of people that just didn't have it easy. And I didn't have it easy. I worked, my butt off. I played in over 1,000 games. I played more games than anybody under 6 feet tall. And hopefully it was just a testament of my hard work, discipline, lifestyle, belief in God, a lot of people praying for me. And it just really paid off for me.
So, what would you say? I know you're a Christian. What would you say? How did your relationship with God play an active role in like what you did in your basketball career?
Well, my relationship with God has always been the centerpiece of my whole existence. And my relationship with God actually really helped me during some tough times because I know I had somewhere else to lean on, especially when people let you down, situations don't turn out the way you thought they were going to turn out. So you could always pray about it, meditate on it, go to church, get in the Bible, and there was always some comfort there to help me keep going and keep going strong, and know that one door closes, another door opens.
What would you say was a time where your faith was tested the most in your career?
Oh, I think the time when my wife was pregnant with our first child, and I didn't have a job. Back in 1992, I didn't have a job. I wasn't in anybody's training camp. The NBA season preseason had started. We're expecting our first child in December. And my faith was really being tested. And I had to make a decision whether to go play in the minor league. At that time was called the CBA.
Uh-huh.
Now it's the G League, but it used to be
Uh,
called the CBA. And the minute when I thought I was going to sign a contract in the CBA with a team in late October of 1992, the Golden State Warriors called me. Tim Hardaway got injured, and I went and replaced Tim Hardaway. And my daughter now is 27, working on Wall Street, and my son's 24, working in sports management. So it's just amazing how things turn out.
that's amazing. That is really, really. I love to hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, what was your transition like from a player to a coach? Like, did you have to earn your respect all over again? Did they already like respect you going into it? Like, how was it?
It was pretty simple for me because when I was playing at the tail end of my career, Don Nelson allowed me to coach a lot of practices. He would take off and just say, hand me the whistle and say, hey, even though you're a player, I want you to coach practice today. So that helped me get my feet wet. When I played for the Spurs, Coach Popovich allowed me to coach and really be involved when I was a player in a coach's role. And
Mm.
then when I retired and became Coach Nelson's assistant head coach, he gave me a lot of head coaching responsibilities. So I gained a lot of respect of my teammates. They saw my work ethic. And I think that made my transition to becoming a head coach pretty seamless.
Mm. So you just brought up Popovich. What was your relationship like with him, and what would you say the biggest misconception about Popovich is?
My relationship with Pop has always been solid. He was an assistant coach in the early days when I played for San Antonio under Coach Larry Brown. and Pop and I built a strong friendship, relationship, trust, and it's carried on until this day. And I would say the biggest misconception about Pop is that he's mean all the time. He's really a fun-loving guy. He takes really good care of his players. The Spurs have an unbelievable family environment. We spent a lot of time at dinners after losses, not just wins. He does a great job of communicating. He has a Seinfeld type of sense of humor. So he's a pretty cool guy to be around.
Do you have any stories like that'll kind of reflect what y'all's relationship is like?
I remember, I would say early on in his head coaching tenure, we had a serious disagreement at practice. Very, very heated disagreement. It wasn't good. And then everybody got on the plane to fly to LA, and I'll never forget having somebody knocking on my door later on that night in Los Angeles. And when I looked, it was my wife, and she surprised me in Los Angeles. And I said, "What are you doing here?" She said, "Well, Coach Pop said you guys had a pretty heated argument. And he flew me to Los Angeles and told me to take you out to dinner so you can calm down."
That's sweet. Oh my gosh. I would have never thought.
Yeah.
Never thought. That's crazy. Oh my goodness.